Hey everybody, just wanted to share with you, I'm building a negative pressure downdraft wood gasifying boiler for my home. I'm building a homemade system from scratch. Uh, Basically this thing is going to be constructed mainly from 3/16 and 1/8 inch thick steel. It's plenty enough gauge to this thing because it's not beyond under any pressure, so gauge wise it's going to have curtains inside so to prevent any heat. These panels here, this shows the side panel. On one side, that's the back panel, which is also the back of the boiler tank. This is the burner assembly, so in other words, the wood bed. That's going to have a plate across it, as you'll see in more videos as it gets long. That there is the top. It's going to be exhaust, so it comes up from the back. It's going to get pulled through the front through an exhaust fan, and then go into an exhaust box and then out the chimney. So as this thing progresses, I'm going to take more pictures and show you how I'm constructing this thing. Lots of steel kicking around here. I've been wanting to build one of these for a long time. Reason why is because buying one is stupid expensive. Up here in Canada, our money is not worth anything, so we call it the Kanakistani peso. The peso doesn't buy us anything in this country. Like wood boilers here now, from what I've contacted manufacturers, they want anywhere from minimum 16,000 to 20,000 plus for a gasification boiler, which is absolutely insane. All the steel and everything that I have, that I purchased, that I'm using to construct this thing, by the time I'm done, with all the little bits and pieces and everything, this thing is maybe will top $1,000 to build this thing completely, for all materials, electronics, fans, you name it. There's really not much to it. I will be using 2 existing wood stove doors that I have, so you'll be able to see the fire of it. Like I said, as it goes along, we'll have more videos and more pictures, and I will share them with you as it gets completed. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, so here I'm back again. Just finished tacking together the 4 tubes for the heat exchanger. So this here being the bottom of the unit, and this holes there is where the water is going to pass up from the lower water tank up into the back, where it'll pass by all the heat exchange tubes, and then that heat will be absorbed in the water, and then the exhaust will then make its way out the top, and then head out the exhaust port there. Okay, so here I am, another day of building on the old downdraft gasifier. You can see now I have my heat exchanger welded in. The sticks are in place there just to keep the metal spread and prevent them from warping, even though they're already warped, but that's helped straighten them out. Anyways, as you can see from the bottom, the tubes are welded in. I'm just starting to weld this in. It's tacked in, but I did, a couple welds done. I have to flip it over all the time to do another weld, flip it, do another weld. So yeah, that's what she's starting to look like. That's going to be the heat exchange tubes going through the back of the water box. Once that's all welded in, then the back panel will get welded in, and then the bottom water tank will get welded on, which obviously goes down there. So hey everybody, here we are working on downdraft gasification boiler. As you can see, she's laying on her side. I got the fire bed in. It's not finished yet because it still needs the plates on there to close it off, because only the center section is open for like a 6-inch piece. Strap there is just a spacer that's welded in. There is the upper part of the lower water tank. That lip seals to the bottom. It will seal to the bottom plate, which then seals the lower part of the water tank. The back lip there gets welded to the back side of the heat exchanger, creating the back upper part of the water tank. And when that's fully welded in there, then water will be on the bottom of this and at the back of this, where it then flows up through those holes up and through the back of the stove, where it then meets all the heat exchangers, and then it flows up. All right, so as we progress along with the downdraft gasifier, I now have the bottom floor plate in, which worked out quite nicely. So as you can see, the exhaust will come down hits the back, the bottom. Everything in the bottom is going to be full of water. So this whole void in the bottom here will be full of water. It's 3 inches. And as it comes around the back side, and you can see it'll pass up through those holes. It really didn't need the holes. I could have cut that plate shorter, but then, whatever. I wanted to slow down the flow so the water spends more time in the bottom getting heated before it actually just goes out the top. So I don't know if it'll really do anything, but it may or may not help. We'll see. But anyways, this is it coming together. Just fit it in there, and just grinding the corners until everything just fits nice and flush and flat. And once it's all fitted to my liking, then we'll proceed to weld her in there. And that'll be the bottom part, or the top part of the bottom water tank. And then the base will go on, and then the back will go on, and then this thing will be sealed. And then once that happens, then we can proceed to pressure test it, look for any final leaks. Everything's been pressure tested so far just by soap and water on the joints, and then blast of air on the back side of the joints. If you get any air bubbles coming through, then you have a leak there. There's usually just some tiny pinholes. I've had a few pinholes. Have been an absolute pain chasing them down, grind them out, weld them, grind them out, weld them. But it always just comes down to how good the weld is. And every once in a while, if I have to stop or if I move, I seem to make a tiny bit of a mistake there, and then that results into just an absolute pinhole for a leak. And then of course, yeah, I have to go through and fix it. So the bottom part here won't leak at all, because what I did was I scored the steel, I then bent it, and then welded the corners so that there's no chance of that leaking. The welds are beautiful. I bought this welder, this new Reboot welder off Amazon. This is $400 shipped to my door. It's 120, 220. This thing is absolutely amazing. I cannot believe how nice this thing welds. You can set this thing up 18 ways from Sunday. It just welds absolutely incredible. I've used welders that cost 15 times as much, and it doesn't work any better than this thing does. And this is an amazing little machine. I'm super happy with that. Hopefully the thing lasts. But anyways, so yeah, as this thing gets the bottom plate on and stuff, then we'll get, oh, Mr. Zeus. Hey, how's it going? Okay, here we are progressing. This is the last view of the back, the inside of the water tank, the heat exchange tubes. I'm about to weld the back plate onto this thing. Here's the bottom, or sorry, the top of the bottom water tank. This thing's laying on its side, obviously. All the welds are all completely sealed up. It's like putting caulking on with steel. It's pretty ridiculous, but get a pinhole and you're forever chasing that to get it sealed. But finally it's all sealed up. Once I weld the back plate on, then it'll be completely sealed up on the back to the, then I'll weld the bottom on, and then the bottom will have this thing airtight. Then I can do the final pressure testing, and if I have to do any external leak repairs, that will take place then. Anyway,